Alright, what's going on, everybody? We got some new updates in the Jussie Smollett case. As we all know by now, Jussie Smollett is an actor and I guess a singer too, and he's on the TV show Empire. Um, where he accused two unidentified people of beating him up, tying a rope around his neck, throwing some chemical on him, all within 60 seconds in Chicago recently. He said himself that he didn't want to contact police with this, but he did so at the behest of his agent or manager. Well, there's a lot of interesting things that have been happening with this case. Everyone knows, he says, it was masked men yelling, "This is MAGA country," and calling them racial slurs and all this stuff. That's what he says. Just to remind you, this all took place within 60 seconds, 1 minute. And all this man had was the slightest scratch under his eye. Just the slightest scratch. I don't know how many people have been in a fight that watched this, but I've been in a few. And when you're taking on two people, you usually get your butt handed to you. Especially if they jump you. If you square up, you have a better chance. But if someone jumps you, you're going to be battered and bruised and cut up. You're going to be in a world of hurt. But yeah, so let's move on from that a little bit. Recently, he was doing a concert, and these are just some of his quotes from that concert. "There's been a lot of stuff said about me that is absolutely not true." Then he paused to the balcony and glanced up. He looked at his lawyer and he said, "I'm sure my lawyer's sitting up there like, no, Jussie, no, shut the F up and sing." Consulting his notes, he moved on to 4 points he said he wanted to make. And this is in quotes. "I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken. I went to the doctor immediately. I was not hospitalized. Both my doctors in LA and Chicago cleared me to perform, but said to take care, obviously. And above all, I fought the F back." Now that goes against what he said in his original police report. He didn't mention anything of fighting back. Not at all. So that's something. That's something significant right there, because his story's changing a little bit. It's changing just enough to make it odd. So, yeah. That's interesting. And very interesting. There's a lot of very interesting things about this. First off, the incident, there's quite a bit of cameras everywhere in that area. And this incident happened to happen in an area where there just happened to be no cameras. That's neat. And another thing is, from what I'm hearing, that night of the incident, alleged incident, he just got back into Chicago from a flight. So it's not like anybody would particularly know that he was back in Chicago. So that's another kind of odd thing. And it was 20 degrees when this happened. So I don't know how anybody, because he initially said that they said, "Hey, that's that blank from that show Empire." I don't know that many conservatives that watch shows like Empire. I really don't, especially if you would consider these alleged people to be MAGA people. That's not a show that they're generally going to watch. But I mean, that's not much of an argument. I'm just saying, factually, that's not a show many conservatives watch. And 45 minutes after the incident, when the police got to his apartment, he had his Subway sandwich. He still had his cell phone. And he still had the rope, which is like a clothesline type deal, around his neck. 45 minutes later. If someone put a rope around my neck, the first thing, even if I was beaten half unconscious, the first thing I would do when I got up was get that damn thing off my neck. You know? But he's playing the victim card here. That's what he was trying to do, is play the victim card. But yeah, it's getting really odd because now his statements aren't matching up to what he said in the police report. But it's amazing that he never lost his sandwich or his cell phone during a fight with two men. When he says he was on the phone with his manager. So that's weird. Instead of defending yourself, you're just going to keep grasp of your phone for you don't lose your phone. And why else does he refuse to give up? I can understand why you refuse to give up your phone to the police. But he's also refusing to give up the transcripts and stuff from the phone that he can get through an email. Like, he doesn't actually have to give his phone up for that. So that's another very strange thing. You know, if you're trying to say something happened to you, you would think that you would completely cooperate with the police to find these people who did this. Because if it did happen, which it's seeming really likely that it didn't happen, but you would think, under all costs, if someone did a true hate crime to you, you would want those people in jail because they're obviously not mentally sound if they're going to be doing this type of thing. Which, yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But, yeah, it's not adding up. And the Chicago Police Department issued a statement that if they find out that this is a prank or a hoax, there will be charges brought up on Jussie Smollett. So I'm sure that's got him sweating a little bit because, as I stated earlier, he's not cooperating anymore with the police. And anybody with a brain in their head and who was attacked would cooperate with the police fully, 100%. So it really doesn't make any sense. I'm really eager to see where this is going to lead to, because hate crime is terrible. A true hate crime is an awful, ridiculous thing to do. But creating a hoax of a hate crime is just as bad, if not worse, because you're just flaming fire at that, or fanning fire at that point. So if this turns out that he created a hoax, I'd like to see how the nation and the world treat him afterwards, because like I said, this is fanning fire that the fire is not even really existing unless you fan it. So we'll see what happens here. It's getting interesting. I'm going to put a link below to it's a tweet that has the original police report in it. So yeah, give it a read, do some investigating on your own, and see where you come together at, because like I said, it doesn't seem like this actually happened. It seems like he made it up, and now he may be facing consequences for this, especially with his lack of cooperation. There's no reason he shouldn't cooperate if you're the victim. But alright, as always, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.